like I said in the last video, it took way too long to record the whole video, so it's a two-parter, and this is the second part of typical foods here in Colombia. So snacks, one of the biggest things in Medellín especially, and other parts around Medellín, arepa. You can't get around arepa here. You get it for pretty much every single meal. You can have just a plain arepa, which consists of corn. Well, they have different kinds of arepa de mote, and there are different ones, but in general, for you, it's corn-based and doesn't consist of flour usually. So yeah, it's like a round, how do you want to say, disc? That sounds weird. And some, like the bigger one, are usually in the morning, for example, for breakfast, and you eat that with, for example, scrambled eggs. And here they also eat meat for breakfast, so sometimes you have meat on the side and butter. Oh, especially quesito, which is like fresh cheese. It doesn't have a lot of taste like cheddar cheese, but it's actually really good. That's also the cheese they usually put in the hot chocolate with cheese. And I really like that because it's soft and it's not too salty. It's just like, I love the taste. You gotta try that too. You gotta try so many things here. And so yeah, arepa. So arepa is just like, you get it with pretty much every meal. Morning, evening, afternoon, whenever. And also you get it for lunch, for example, and there's just like a small one. And yeah, you can get it stuffed. Yeah, there are so many variations. Like for example, in Venezuela, they have the arepa too, and there it's usually stuffed with a lot like meat, like shredded beef, something like that, and sauce on top, and yeah, but the outside is an arepa. And yeah, that's the arepa. And to be honest, at the beginning, I didn't like it at all, but that was particularly the arepa, like itself, but where you eat it. So you can get like really great arepas and really bad ones, and the taste varies so much. And also like how long you roast it, or how do you say, like you put it on fire and like on the stove. It's not frying it, it's like, let's say roasting. And so it tastes really good when on the outside it's kind of a little bit crispier, on the inside it's soft. But usually, especially for lunchtime, somehow it's always soft and even cold, so I don't like that. So for you to know, you should, when you tried it the first time and you don't like it, don't give up. Keep trying it, because sometimes you will have a really amazing arepa and sometimes it's gonna be really crappy. So that's also a thing here in Latin America. You never know what you're getting. And even though you're going to the very same restaurant every single day, it's always gonna be different. And so yeah, that's for you to know. It's just like, you never know what you're getting. It's always kind of a surprise. So there's arepa de chocolo, which is like, you have like the kind of white corn and the yellow corn, and the arepa de chocolo is out of yellow corn, and it is sweet, so they add sugar to it. And I love that. That with quesito, which I mentioned before, like the fresh cheese, really, chef's kiss, really good. I love that. Gotta try that if you like sweet stuff. And it's like pretty good for a snack. It's not like dessert in general. It's just like, sometimes you even get it with a main dish. On the side you have arepa de chocolo with quesito on it, like cheese. So it's a snack, a dessert, whatever you want to call it. And so what else? Empanadas. Empanadas are also like pretty well known in like pretty much every Latin culture and country, but it depends. They vary, like the preparation varies. So sometimes they're fried, sometimes, like I heard in Argentina, they baking it like in the oven. So here they're fried, and they're usually filled with chicken or ground beef, or sometimes shredded beef. And you also have always like sauces on the side, which is like salsa rosada, which is like mayonnaise and ketchup mixed, and or ají. Ají is like, you can get it like more picante or sweet, and it's just like chopped herbs and I think, what else? Vinegar, like different kind of ingredients. It's really good. It's usually not picante. It says picante, but usually it's not, because people here, they're not really used to eating like spicy food, like hot sauces, stuff like that. Not really. So usually when it says picante, it's not, for me at least. And that's what most people say here, like most Colombians, they say like, I don't like picante. And yeah, it stings, they say, it stings, pica pica. So yeah, then usually when you go to a little like store or shop where they sell empanadas, they also have papas rellenas, which is like stuffed potatoes. So it's like round, and on the outside it's the potato, and inside it's filled with all kinds of meats, whatever you want, but usually I think it's beef. And yeah, what's the next snack? Patacones. So that's plantain, fried plantain, and this you, for example, at the coast, you eat that with suero, which is like sour cream. Yeah, pretty much like sour cream, which is really good. And also, by the way, arepa with hogao. It's like a tomato kind of sauce with onions and other stuff. Really good too. So yeah, let's go to the sweets. So sweets, there are many. Like many sweet things here. They love sweet here in general, and things that, for example, in other areas of Colombia are not sweet, here they are sweet. For example, buñuelos. Buñuelos is like a fried ball with cheese, but you don't have, like, you don't see the cheese. It's just like made out of cheese too, and they fry it. And usually in a lot of parts you just eat it like that. But here you can have it filled with arequipe, which is like dulce de leche, like caramel, if you don't know what that is, and which is really good. But usually you don't eat that sweet, but here you do. And also like in Sabaneta, for example, which is a place like more traditional, more yeah, let's say a traditional place, and a smaller. It's actually not part of Medellín, like Envigado. It's not like officially part, but still it's kind of, it's Medellín. And but still you feel the difference. It's just like more traditional. So there's a little restaurant, like a restaurant with like super huge buñuelos, and there they also serve like salsa de mora, which is like blackberry sauce, and that's sweet, and you put it on top of the buñuelo, and it is delicious. But I also have to add that specific store or shop or restaurant is famous for its buñuelos. So like so many people, especially during Christmas time, they come to Sabaneta just to see the Christmas nights and to eat buñuelos because they're so good. And they have been running that restaurant for a long time. So yeah, if you're in Medellín and you want to try the best buñuelos, go to Sabaneta. It's close to the park. And I think it's called El Peregrino or El Peregrin, something like that. So yeah, let's move on to pasteles. So there are so many pasteles. There are, how do you say, like, how do you say pasteles? Okay, I'm back after a little Google search. Pasteles are like pastry. So you have really a lot of pastries here. So like filled pastries with, and I'm talking about the sweet ones, and my favorites are arequipe. So like I said, like it's like caramel, dulce de leche, and so some are just filled with the arequipe, and some are filled with quesito. Again, a lot of cheese here. Quesito and arequipe. And to be honest, at the beginning I was like not feeling it, but now I really love it. Like the combination between like the sweet and kind of a little bit of saltiness to the cheese. It's the best, but it has to be warm. Like the cheese has to be really soft. So that's really nice to try. I just recommend it. But there are also a lot of, like, they have pasteles, like pastries filled with guava, and they call it guayabo here guayaba, and like it tastes like marmalade, kind of like a jam. And sometimes they even mix, and they call it gloria, they even mix arequipe and the jam and put it together in one pastry. So they have different, and sometimes you even have cheese in it on top of it. So you have so many variations here. And there's also something called churro. And now you think about the churros that are like long and with sugar on it and stuff, and maybe even cinnamon. I'm not talking about those. Here they call it churro, but actually it's a donut filled with arequipe. And on the outside you have sugar and everything like a churro, but it's just like really, it's actually like a really big donut and filled with arequipe, which is really good too. And not the best for the waistline, but really gotta try it. And then we have the natilla, which is like a typical, let's call it dessert during Christmas time. And usually you eat it with buñuelos together. And so natilla is like a pudding. Yeah, let's call it a pudding, which is sweet, and usually it has like the typical Christmas taste, like cinnamon, cloves, something like that. And it's really tasty, so something else you gotta try here. I talked a lot about food. Actually, it's my favorite topic to talk about, but I just thought nobody would be interested in it. But I guess since I saw your comments that you want to know more about the food, so I hope that this video kind of helped you to get kind of like a feeling for how the food here is. So in a nutshell, you don't really have spicy food here unless you're going to international restaurant like a Korean or Mexican. Even Mexicans are not really too spicy because they adapt to the culture here, obviously. So if you really want it spicy, maybe you have to ask for it, if they can like put some more chili in it or whatever. And yeah, so also it consists of a lot of meat, and they love sweets. So there are all types of sweets and cheese. A lot of cheese on and in pretty much everything, or a lot of things here. And so that consists of, yeah, the video today. And again, I want to mention that this is specifically for Medellín. If you go to Santa Marta, for example, it will be different because they eat more fish, for example, more seafood there. So it really depends where you are. Same goes for Bogota. They have more like international cuisine there. So yeah, like I said, this is like more specifically Medellín, but most of those plates you will find in other areas, like other cities in Colombia too. So I hope it was helpful, and yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.